Oh man, I am really confused. I don't know what to do. Should I do this? Should I do that? So, have you ever felt like that? Have you ever felt confused? And if you have, I think you would love today's vlog come podcast. In today's vlog come podcast, I talk about why being confused is a really good state to be at. More on this in today's vlog. Let's begin. Hey, my name is Karan Dharamsi and I am the CEO of the Marketing Nerdz. And in today's vlog, come podcast, we talk about why being confused is a great place to be at. I'm sure it must have happened with you, and if it hasn't, good for you. But if it has, I think it's extremely good for you. And let's begin by talking about why confusion is a good state. Right? I've personally been there. I have been at different stages in my life. I've been confused. Starting right with the friends I wanted to hang out with. Like, I'm sure you must have been there, right? You wanted to be friends with somebody, maybe they did not want to be friends with you. You wanted to be friends with people who were cooler and stuff like that. So that was my first confusion. And then it moved on to, what do I really want to study? Should I take science? Should I take commerce? So that was my second confusion. And then the confusion grows into, once you are out of college, what kind of career do you want to get into? For me, it was, do I really get into, doing a job? I was placed in campus in 2 companies, or should I quit that? Should I do my MBA? Or should I quit the idea of doing MBA and, chase my passion, get into acting, get into fitness, or start a business? So even once I got into business, there's still been confusion about what's the next business that I want to do. Should I expand this business? Should I start something in other things that I'm passionate about? Should I open multiple offices? So to people on the outside, it always seems like I'm confused, or to a larger part, even people who are really close to you, they may end up calling you, hey, you're really confused, you should just pick one thing, stick to one thing. While I think it's a sound advice, but I think it's also a little detrimental, and specifically coming from people who are settled into their career. And here's the reason I say that. For people most likely advising other people and calling them confused, they picked something in their life. Maybe they are working in a corporate and they are at a manager's position, they are in the senior management position, or they have their own factory, but they picked these things not because it's what they wanted to do in life, it's because they compromised in life. Now think of it, who ever dreamt of doing their MBA and planned of ending their life by being the manager at XYZ corporate? No one dreams like that, right? Or no one has the life dream based on becoming a manager at a certain corporate. We only choose, or people who choose these jobs do it out of certainty or security. They want financial security in their life. And one of the reasons they might end up calling you confused is because they want you to pick a path that's very conventional and very straight. Because the moment you take an unconventional path, the moment you say that, hey, I don't want to live by the confined or the boundaries of the society and what the society calls a person who's not confused but in a straightforward career, you make them feel uncomfortable. You make them realize that, hey, we are in a career which we chose only because of financial security, and we aren't doing the things that we actually want to do in life. And here's this guy or this girl who is choosing to pick their own path, create their own path, and it makes them realize of their of limitations or of their living of actual life, right? Because they're not living life, they're just flowing through the life. And that's why when people call you confused, it's actually a good sign. And if you feel confused, it's a good sign. Why? Because one, you are thinking. People who are not confused and who are in the whole traditional conventional stuff, they are the ones who compromised. and they like to call other people confused who actually think. The only reason you're confused is because you're thinking about what's a right path, what's a wrong path, and which is a good sign, because if you think, you eventually would stumble upon some path that's actually meant for you. You may make mistakes. The path may not be as simple as going from point A to point B. Like for example, if you complete your graduation and then you just join a job, like you follow a traditional path like I did my engineering, and then I was almost on the verge to do MBA, and probably I must after I did my MBA, I would have done my MBA, I would have picked up a nice corporate job, and but at this point I may be sitting in some corporate office, doing the typical corporate stuff. I mean, no offense or nothing bad about that, but that wasn't meant for me, and I chose that. I asked myself the question, can I see myself doing that? And the answer was no, which I feel is the answer for a lot of people. But then I had the supplementary question, which is, if I do not choose that path, can I see myself probably struggling and going through the pain that you need to endure sometimes when you pick something unconventional, because there is no given template, there is no given formula, so you have to endure the pain. So am I willing to do that? And my mind said yes, I would. And that's when I chose the path that I'm at right now, right? I have tons of failed businesses which taught me what not to do in a business, and it was a painful path, but thankfully I feel more fulfilled than I'm assuming all my friends who did engineering with me, who went on to do MBAs and who now work in different corporates. But I know for a fact that they're not happy with their life, they're not happy with who they have become and how they are spending their time sitting in or some office that they do not, and doing the stuff that they don't enjoy doing, and how they've killed a part of themselves which they so wanted to explore and take ahead when we were all in college. So I've always had that curiosity and confusion with where people have called me, you're confused, you don't stick to one path, and I feel it's just one life. And specifically when you're in your 20s, you don't have any fucking thing to lose, right? What's the worst that you could lose? Maybe your time, but in the process you gain a lot of experience. So I think if you're confused, it's a really great sign. If somebody calls you confused, just look at them, ignore the comment, and just remember this, that the only reason people call you confused is because you make them feel uncertain and you make them feel insecure about the path that they chose, and you make them realize that they are living a life of fear and they choose certainty over fulfillment. So good to be confused, but now that you're confused, it's just a question answer time, because like Tony Robbins says, the quality of your life is the quality of questions you ask yourself, and we are constantly asking ourselves different questions. Am I doing the right thing? Am I choosing the right career? Am I getting married to the right person? Am I in the right business? Or do I have the right friends? So I think you're doing the right thing by asking the question that, hey, am I choosing the right career? Should I go study ahead? Should I select digital marketing as my career? Now it's all about tweaking the questions from a state of confusion. I think the only way forward is to reframe your questions. So if you feel like, hey, this is the path that you want to take, awesome. So instead of asking a question that, hey, am I in the right career or should I select digital marketing, the question should be reframed, and how could I go on to become the best digital marketer? Right? That's a better question to ask, and it'll help you get out of your state of confusion. Or if you're planning to start a business, so who could I get around with that could help me make lesser mistakes and could help me get the business moving ahead in the right direction? So that's the right question to ask. So being confused is always a good state, and if you are in any kind of an intervention, which is normally called psychiatric intervention or strategic interventions, you'll always hear the psychotherapist telling you that being confused is always great. So if people call you confused, don't take it as a negative, but in fact that is something that you should be really proud of. But the only next step and the logical step to take is reframe the questions you are asking yourself. So instead of asking the questions which you should be thankful to has gotten you to the state of confusion, the next thing you need to do is reframe the questions, ask better questions, and ask more deeper questions. Are you prepared? Are you prepared to endure the pain? Because when I'm talking about confusion, I'm primarily focusing on your confusion about your career, not other areas of your life. So when you're confused about your career, the only reason you're confused is you aren't happy going the traditional path. You want to do something different. You want to probably follow your passion. You want to do something unconventional. So which is great, and I applaud you for that. But you should answer this question before you actually take the jump, which is, are you prepared to endure the pain, right? Because that's going to happen if you're going to pick an unconventional path. And if you're 100% sure about that, awesome. There's nothing to be confused about any longer. Go follow the path, become a master at it, prepare for it, put in the work, get into the battlefield, and in a few years, like Malcolm Gladwell says, people will call you an overnight success. But if you're confused, and if you're not willing to endure the pain, if you're not willing to take the risk, which I think you should do in your 20s, because you have nothing to lose, instead of buying a car on an EMI, or buying a house on an EMI, which which gets you stuck at one place, because then you cannot take the risk, because you'll always have the hammer of that monthly EMI on your head, and then you have to pick a path of certainty. Instead of doing all of that, go explore, get the experience, endure the pain. It'll make you tougher physically, mentally, emotionally, and it'll take you to a path where in the next few years people would want to hang out with you. People would say that, hey, I'm proud of this person, and he's the most sorted person. Glad you did not stick and follow people's advice, right? So good to be confused and take it to the next step, right? Or either retract or go ahead. But it's a great place you are at, because it shows that you are asking yourself questions which most people don't. Most people follow things blindly. Most people wait for orders, either from their parents, from the boss, from the teachers, from the society, from their friends. You're not doing that because you're thinking. That's why you're confused. So good state, great job at being confused. I love people who are confused, which just is a sign that they think and they use their own mind and they are curious about stuff. So good state, take it ahead, either go ahead or retract, depending on how you answer this question. Are you willing to endure the pain which always comes with the path that's unconventional? The society will want to pull you back because you remind them of how they are living their life and how they should be living their life. Alright, so I hope that answers the question about confusion, because I keep getting a lot of these comments about people being confused. Should I do MBA? Should I do this? Should I do that? Well, I am honestly no one to answer. I can only talk about things from my experience. It's eventually who has to decide whether you're willing to endure the fucking pain. If you are, all the best. I look forward to seeing you becoming successful. So this was me, Karan Dharamsi, signing off from today's podcast cum vlog. I look forward to talking to you in the next vlog.